How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Catabolic Window. If you're a first-time listener, that's Christian. You probably know him. We're the other ones that are normally here. We have a special guest today. We're all very, very excited. I'm trying not to fangirl. Yeah, let's just get on with it. Christian, mate, how has your week been? How's your day been? Welcome to the pod. How are you feeling?
I'll always give the same answer, bro. Everyone asks how my week is. Good, but busy. Standard. But it's always good to be busy. But yeah, been good day, good week so far.
Good. Glad to hear it, bro. Any kind of like standout events of the week for yourself, or just kind of business as usual?
I've had 44 inquiries since Sunday, so that's pretty standout.
Oh.
But mate, that's what, like, if you have people compete and they're known, that's what happens. Like that Joel kid, the guy's a machine, mate.
True.
So I mean, 41 of them were shit, but you know, it's fine.
Was I one of the good ones?
Oh shit, I mean 40 were shit.
Fair play.
You're a top spot, bro.
What makes a shit inquiry?
No, I'm not going to say shit inquiries. People that don't understand what online coaching costs. I'm not trying to say it's a shit inquiry. I'm only messing. But like, a lot of it is, I've seen Joel's physique and I want that. I'm like, okay, well, just know that that's Joel.
Yeah.
And you are you, and that's not necessarily what's going to happen, but I can try and help.
Yeah.
But a lot of, it got to a point now where it's like you can sort of pick and choose who you want to work with. Which is difficult because I like to work with everyone. So
that's your niche, bro. Everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've said that before, haven't you? You want to coach?
Yeah. I don't care if it's a photo shoot. I don't care if it's ISBB Pro, Natty, Enhanced, male, female, Gen Pop, whatever. If you can help them, I want to try at least.
What if it's road to obese and muscle loss? Because that's what I'm after.
What is it? Regressive underload.
Yeah, bro, exactly.
Yeah, let's do it. I can definitely prescribe that. Just do what I do.
Mate, Nate's kicking and screaming. He's going to be so mad that you said that.
Work yourself into oblivion and just eat Five Guys.
Sounds good, to be fair. So aside from that little intro there, like what else do the listeners who might not know who you are, I mean, they probably fucking do, and if they don't, then they should get to know who you are. But what do they need to know about you in order to understand like who Christian is?
Fucking hell, deep question to start, bro.
Jeez.
No preparation for this. So I've been coaching for like 7 years. Went full time and like left jobs 3 years and 1 month ago, to be precise. I'm incredibly attentive, OCD, anal about everything to do with coaching and helping people. I predominantly have definitely built a business off of personality more than anything else, because no one's coming to me for this rig whatsoever. Now, obviously, people come off the back of results, but you can't have results when you first start, because that's impossible, obviously. So when you start, you've got to rely on what you've got. That might be physique, it might be personality, it might be both. It's very rare that someone's got both. So I was always told when I was a kid that you'll get by on your personality, bro, don't worry about it. So that's why I just did not try hard at school, because I fucking hated it. And I just thought, whatever, I'll just wing it later in life. And I've winged my way to this 31-year-old man right now.
Respect.
Was that even an answer? I don't even know if that was an answer.
No, yeah, that's a solid answer. That's a solid answer.
Bro.
A lot of people feel that way. Like, I'm supposed to really enjoy school and get a lot of it out of it, but most people I know like fucking hated it.
Yeah, I hated school. Didn't enjoy it. Wasn't good at it. I don't like being taught things that I have no interest in.
Yeah.
Who wants to do that? Like, seriously. I think people that want to do that are pressured to have to do that by like parents or whatever. For sure. My parents were never like pressing me on school. It's just like, you know, if you enjoy it, cool. If you don't, you know, at least give it a go.
Do you ever like think back to when you're like 14, 15, maybe even 13, you're in school, and that's like your whole world is school, and the teacher beefs you and you're like, yeah, fair enough, I'm being annoying. But then you look back and you're like, you were 40 and I was like 12 and you were beefing me because I was forced to sit in your maths lesson and I wasn't that interested.
Yeah. I often wish I could go back to like certain scenarios, more so not with school, but like with work, like bosses and stuff, like trying to like tell me what to do, and I was just, you know, obedient. Now I'd be like, who the fuck are you talking to? Like, just speak to you like shit, no freedom, which I get to some extent. You're working for them, but like have some fucking respect. I remember actually one point when I never used to really like stand up for myself when I was growing up because I was just like scared of like authority, to be fair. And there was a guy who he was the head of business at BMW Mini where I worked, and like he mugged me off in front of like a crowd of staff. Like everyone was in the same room, and I said something, and he just, I can't even remember what he said, but he just like mugged me off, and like everyone laughed at me.
Bruh.
So I just stood there. I was like, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm gonna wait for him to leave the room. And I chased him down the car park to catch up with him. And I was like, Luke, mate, do me a favor. Just don't ever fucking do that again in front of people. I said, because you made me feel like an absolute idiot. And I was like, I don't come to work to be taken the piss out of. I was like, and if there's a fucking problem with that, I'll take it to your boss. Oh, it gave me a fucking phone call that night on his way home to my mobile. I was just like apologizing and stuff like that. And I just looked like, I'm not like that. Like, I don't take the piss out of people. I'm not horrible to people. I take the piss out of people, but in a jokey way. But like, I don't ever want to make someone feel like shit. You know what I mean? And again,
Coming from sorry.
No.
What? Oh, I was going to ask, being sort of having that authoritarian, like shy or awareness, like not standing up for yourself. After that moment, was that quite a significant moment in your life where you kind of took things into your own hands in terms of business? Is that when you sort of started branching out?
Yeah, because like prior to that, I got in a lot of shit at that job for something. I can talk about it now because it doesn't really matter. But I used to be on my phone like a lot because I was trying to.
So surprised.
Yeah.
I was trying to build like coaching, and I'd be on my phone a lot. I'm always on Instagram, all this sort of stuff. And basically, I went to work one day, normal day, and my like immediate boss, not the head of business, my immediate boss, Will, was like, Chris, can I have a chat with you a second? And I was just like, yeah, sound, bro. And Will was very good at not letting on you're about to get in absolute shit. And he was like, just follow me. And I was like, yeah, sound. Start walking through the workshop. I'm thinking, where's he taking me? Start walking up the stairs. I'm like, we're going to Luke's office here. I was like, oh no.
Oh crap.
What have I done? And then we didn't go into his office. We went to like the boardroom. Luke was sat there, who was head of business. Head of HR was in there. And then me and Will was my boss. And there was a projector on on a big screen. And there was me on Instagram, a story of me filming myself driving.
Oh shit.
I'm obviously driving a company car that doesn't belong to me.
Days.
I'm wearing a company jacket that's got the logo on and stuff like that. And I'll be honest, mate, I've never had such a fucking bollocking in my entire life. Like, honestly, it was just one of those ones where you've just got to sit there and get abused. Yeah. And they went absolutely mental. They were like, you can lose your job. What if you'd run someone over and you're on your phone? Which I completely get, like, a hands up, it shouldn't be on my phone when I'm driving, etc., especially at a company car, especially wearing my clothes. I've got nothing, like, and he, like, it was a half an hour, like, roast, like, just going mental. And he's like, have you got anything to say for yourself? I was like, I'll be honest, mate, like, I don't know what to say to that. Like, I can say sorry, but it doesn't really mean anything. So I just sat there and took it. And he was like, you can leave. I was like, okay. And then walking back over to the office in complete silence, obviously. And then my boss didn't talk to me for a couple of days. And then I came in the morning and he was like, Chris, can I have a word? And I was like, oh, fuck it. I said, what have I done now? Like, I haven't done anything, I promise. And he said, no, I just want to have a chat. He said, I'll be honest, mate, like, I don't know how you took that the other day, because that was pretty brutal. He was like, I would have just quit. I was just like, yeah, it was bad, but like, I couldn't do anything. But one thing, and I remember I made a video on this when I actually left my job. One thing that Luke said to me in there was, Instagram doesn't pay you wages, I pay you wages. And ever since that day, I was like, I'm going to fucking show him, bro. There's a reason why I'm on this phone all the time.
That's funny. That's so fucking funny.
And it's like, I'm not one of those guys that's like, oh, fuck you, I've proved you wrong and all that sort of stuff. But the guy was a bit of a dick to me. Like, ever since, I remember when I went in for my interview, I walked in the room and he said, I don't like you already. And I was like, right. Like, I hadn't even said anything.
What, for the job initially?
Yeah.
Bro, what? Why would you fuck working there, man?
I know, I was just, oh, man, he did a job. I was just like, right, okay. Yeah. And I'm not one of those guys that's like, I'm going to pull up in my car and fucking, I'm not like that. But I know one day he's going to know what I'm doing now and be like, yeah, fair play to him. Because it's probably not really a cunt. He was just doing his job.
Yeah, yeah.
But at the same time, it gave me a massive kick. Like, right, I don't ever want to be spoke to like that again, because it made me feel like a twat. And I want to be able to do what the fuck I want to do. And
have you ever given like a client a bollocking? Because I think from a lot of the coaches that I've spoken to at some point, especially bigger coaches, Christian's quite a big coach. He's probably, he's quite up there. Like most of the coaches at some point, they've had like a client in prep or something do something so frustrating that there's just no other way around it other than bollocking. Have you ever been in that position, or do you think you just try and shy away from it so much?
I don't shout at clients because I don't understand what that achieves.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't get what is the point. At the end of the day, what they've done, if they've done something and it's fucked up the prep or whatever, what can I do about it? I can't turn back time. And they can't turn back time. It's done now. So we just either need to crack on, find out what the issue is. If it's too much of an issue, cool, we pull that, or whatever it is. But what does me shouting solve? Like, I'm just not like that. Like, I don't feel comfortable doing that. Like, granted, I'm going to let them know that, like, because I think a lot of time your job gets sometimes like taken for granted. And it's like, I put in a lot of effort into everyone. And when people take the piss,
yeah,
like, I find that quite disrespectful. I'd rather say that you've disrespected me than shout at you.
Yeah, no, that's quite good, actually.
Like, mate, I might have said that once in the last 12 months.
Fair.
Do you know what I mean? Because I think as well, when someone respects you and they want to work with you and they're paying you, like, no, I'd say nowadays at this level, my clients respect me.
Yeah.
100%. And it's like, I know that they don't want to piss me off. Like, normally if someone fucks up, they're so upset. Because they're like, bro, and I'm normally then like, bro, it's not even a big deal. Like, just chill out. Do you know what I mean? But if I was to agree with them and say, yeah, bro, you're being a fucking prick. Like, what the fuck do you think you're playing at? Do you think that means they're gonna have a good week? Like, if you actually understand and talk to them and then communicate and say, look, bro, if this is something that might happen again, like, talk to me beforehand or whatever.
Yeah.
And they go, oh, actually, yeah, you've made me feel better about the situation. You know what won't happen? That won't happen again. Because you haven't been a prick to them. You know what I mean?
You touched on something there that I actually wanted to talk about a little bit, and I'm sure Luke will have similar experiences. You kind of talked about people almost taking coaching for granted. I think this whole career, because it's so new, a lot of people either just don't like take it for granted, with people not expecting you to take holidays, people expecting you to be there 24/7, or I don't know, people even being surprised by, like, I've had people are like, oh, I'm surprised that this is like a whole service thing, and I'm like, yeah, this is coaching, this is my job, this is like how I keep the lights on. Of course it's going to be professional, but like, what are your thoughts on the kind of general, I guess, attitude towards coaching and that career path, especially with like time off? I know that's something you've talked about before.
Yeah, it's hard. Like, I'll give you an example, because I had one last night. Someone messaged me at 11:05 at night, just asking me a question. And like, the problem I have is I'm incredibly OCD and I don't like unread messages on my phone. I don't do it. Every day before 12 in the afternoon, everything's cleared on my phone. Granted, I'll then go to the gym and I'll have 100 then when I've finished, but that then gets cleared and like things don't get missed, stuff like that. But like, if someone messaged me like at stupid o'clock, like at the time, I'm just like, I want to hit you, like, because people don't understand that if I go on my screen time on my phone, and you can see how many times your phone goes off in the day collectively, mine's 2,000 to 3,000 times a day, and that's very mentally exhausting. But at the same time, I also want clients to feel like they're the only client and they have access to me and stuff like that. But at the same time, I don't come to your job demanding things at 11 p.m. at night because you're not open. But if you have Instagram and you have WhatsApp, you're open. And at the end of the day, I sometimes do take a step back and think, look, it's just a phone and it's just it going off. That's it. But 2,000 or 3,000 times a day it's excessive. But again, that is also my choice. So don't complain about it. I could just have less clients, but I don't want to. So you just have to live with that, in my opinion. The holiday thing, I've done it twice now, actually. Wow, twice. One was for 5 days, one for 7 days, where I took it completely off work. And I feel like there is an approach to that. And if anyone's got a problem with that approach, that's their problem. And I don't want them as a client if they've got a problem with it. Okay, because they have what, 28, 30 days a year holiday pay. Okay, well, I'm taking 7. Is that all right? Like, seriously. And if someone had the audacity to say, I'm not paying for that week, I'll say, no, you're not paying for the month because you're not a client anymore. Because it's disrespectful. Like, you get paid for time off. And if I want a holiday because I work every fucking day, I'm going to take one. And I've done it a couple of times. I just sent out a video to everyone and said, look, guys, on these dates, I'm going to be on holiday. You can message me. You can contact me. That's absolutely fine. I will not be doing check-ins. That's it. Okay. Granted, the time I went to Italy, I had about 20 people on prep at the time. They still have to check in every day. Yeah. That's fine. But you're going to get a WhatsApp. That's it. And you know what? Everyone was okay with that. Because, and again, you'll be surprised with the response. Because at the end of the day, bro, these people that pay you for coaching, they could go to 1,000 other people because everyone's an online coach. So if they've come to you, they obviously like you. Okay. And this is not me sucking my own cock off, but my clients love me. They love me. So if I say I'm going to have some time off, they're most likely going to be, bro, go and have a sick time. Like, you deserve it. Thanks for everything. All this sort of stuff. Yeah, don't worry about it. I won't message you. Granted, they still do, but like, just not checking for a week, out of 52 weeks in the year,
Yeah.
It's one of them. But at the same time, like, I went away 2 weeks ago. I went away on my own, so I don't mind working. And I like, the problem is for me is I love working. When I'm not working, I don't know what to do. So I struggle. So if I say I'm going to take this couple hours off now, I'll find something to do instead. Do you know what I mean? But I am also actively trying to find things to do in that time that aren't work related. Like, I've started boxing because if I'm boxing, I can't go on my phone. It's impossible. I can't hold the phone because I've got gloves on. Okay. So I'm just like, right, I'm completely disconnected from work. It's nothing to do with bodybuilding. It's nothing to do with anything I do. It's nothing to do with clients. It's half an hour for me across the week where I can just not think. And that's good, because if I sit down on the sofa on my own, I just work.
Yeah.
So, but that's just my personality.
Do you have a separate, like, work phone and personal phone, or is it just rolled into one?
No, I've tried that. Stressed me out more.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Now I've got 2 things that are going off.
Yeah.
So I just have one because, again, I don't want to be that guy that I'm going to leave my work phone at home, because what if someone needs me?
Yeah.
Granted, I know that it's not ever 99% of the time. It's not an emergency, but I like to keep up what I start, which is good service.
Yeah.
So,
fair enough. I think that we did have a couple questions that we wanted to run through. I've been talking a lot. Luke and John, did you guys want to kind of get some questions in for the big man? Because otherwise I could just keep talking all day.
Now, bro, you just talk for the rest of the podcast. It's fine.
And my podcast,
you don't have anything to say anyway.
I came up with the name, right? I just want to put that out there. Catabolic Window is my name. That's from my brain. So is it my podcast? Yes. No, I'm kidding.
I was going to say, when you were talking about your old job earlier, like, what advice would you give to Christian walking into the doors of that old job on his first day? What would you say to him?
Walk out, bruv. No, I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason. And I said on my podcast, like, if I could go back and change it, I'd start sooner. Okay, but what if I started sooner and it didn't work?
Yeah.
Like, mine blew up in COVID. So COVID was probably the best thing that's ever happened to me, which sounds bad.
If you started sooner, you could have like stopped and given up before COVID, like you kind of fall off and then you never do it again.
Yeah. And, I might not have been the same person I am. I might not have learned the same things, all this sort of stuff. It's like, I'm glad I did that job. I loved it a lot of the time because it was a laugh. Like, we had a right laugh every fucking day. Like, just fucking, if you ever sell cars, or if you've ever sold cars, you'll know it is the most mental environment ever. Like,
a good way or a bad way, or mixed?
I don't know how we got away with the things that we did.
You want to talk about it or no?
I've got a good example.
Go on.
No, I mean, look, very, like, politically incorrect. Sexist, racist, like, it's a racist environment. It is, like, that's not me saying I'm a racist or sexist, but I'm talking like people in there, that's what it is.
like a ladsy environment kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I had a guy I'd sold a car to, and he was collecting it at like 6 p.m. So right at the end of the day, because he really wanted it. I was like, yeah, I'll have it ready for then. I went down to collect the car from the wash bay at like 5 p.m. It was in the winter and it was dark. And I put the car in reverse and didn't realize there was a car behind me, and just reversed straight into this X5 BMW. And I was like, fuck, shit. So I drove it up to the top and to like the front of the showroom. And I rang my boss. I was like, Will, come outside, please. And because it was dark, I didn't think it was that bad. So we pulled the car into the workshop, and he was like, yeah, that's a new bumper. Like, you're not fixing that. And I was just like, right, give me a minute. I'm going to try and fix this. So I drive from the showroom to the body shop. They had a separate body shop, about 15 minute drive away. So I fucking raced down there like a fucking maniac. Went into the body shop. I was like, lads, I need some help. I was like, can you fix that in like half an hour? And they were like, no, like that's a couple of day job. I was like, is they like, why? I was like, it's going out in like 20 minutes. Like, got a guy come to get it. And he's like, right, okay. Looking around the car park, it was a black Mini Cooper S John Cooper Works. So John Cooper Works has a completely different rear bumper to all of them. Specific black, all this sort of stuff. And right on the side was a black John Cooper Works Mini Cooper S. And they were like, we'll take the bumper off that and we'll put it on this. He was like, we'll be half an hour. And I was like, okay, I'll ring the guy. I'll tell him, I'm just fueling the car. I'm going to be a bit late, blah, 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 blah. So they swap the bumpers over. I then drive off in the car, get to the petrol station to fill it up for him. And I go to lock the car. I'm like, where's the key? And I'm looking around the car. I go in, the car starts. So the car's got to be in the car. The key's got to be in the car because it's keyless go.
Yeah.
But it's got to be in here somewhere. But then I'm thinking, no, I've literally tore the car apart and I can't find the key. I'm in this petrol station. And I think I'll sort it out when I get back to the dealer. So I drive back to the dealer and I just cannot find the key at all. So I ring the body shop. I said, where do the lads normally put the key when they repair a car? And they said, on the windscreen, outside of the car.
Oh, shit.
So I go outside the car and the key is literally wedged between like the bonnet and the windscreen.
Ooh.
And I was driving like a cunt. So how that didn't fucking fly off, I don't know. But yeah, got it there. He never knew it was in an accident. Great laugh.
That's
yeah,
absolutely mental.
That's probably pretty mild, to be honest, to some of the shit we did.
That is mad, honestly.
That sort of provoked another question there, because you can tell from the way that you told that story that like service is something that you've been onto for a long while. Where do you think that comes from? Like, where was the first time you were sat there and thinking like, fucking hell, I want to make sure I do a good job for these people?
Great question, mate, because that's what made me think. I probably never spoke about it on a podcast before, so this is good. Every job I've ever done is service based. So I went straight from school and worked in bars, restaurants, nightclubs, hotels, wedding venues, all that shit. So when you get someone that comes to a bar, you've got to impress them with service, isn't it? And the more I impressed with service, the more tips I made. And the more like respect I got from people, the more that when people would come into the bar, they'd come to me and they'd wait for me. Like, they didn't want to be served by anyone else. And that comes from people like to go into a place and be known because they think it's impressive or whatever. And I would never remember anyone's name ever, but I would always remember what they drink. So if I see them, I'm already making their drink before they've even asked. And then that looks impressive in front of that bird that is with that night or whatever. Okay. That then means he tips. And then that girl thinks, oh, he's a nice guy, he's tipping, blah, 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 blah. And I also like people to think that I'm a nice person. Like, I'm a nice guy. I loved when I was working in Barsborough because I liked when people came in to see me, because that makes me feel like good. So I know that if I provide a good service in like any role that I do, people like me and I like to be liked. There you go.
Fair enough. Nothing wrong with that, man. I think we did have some questions that we wanted to run through. I know, John, I haven't given you a chance to kind of jump in.
Yeah, bro, I can't even jump in. Everyone's on it. I never get a chance to speak. That's my own fault. I was going to say, looping back around to people not being aware of like how much your coaching costs. was there any people like in your life that sort of didn't understand what you did and you had to explain, or sort of like, let's just say for your parents, for example, trying to explain to them the concept of online coaching and not being in person? Or
You know what, like, no, because like my dad's like a businessman, and if he can see that something's making money, keep doing that. Doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. Like, they get it now and at the start, but it wasn't like I had to convince them. It's like they'd seen that I'd got busier over time, and they're like, Chris, you're making money here, like, fucking keep going. So I've never really had to, like, mate, if someone asks what I do and I know that they're not into the gym and they're just random, I will just say something else normally.
Online PT, that's a classic.
No, I just say I've got an online company. That's it.
Oh, fair.
Because I'll be honest, like, I often don't feel comfortable talking about it because it, like, not embarrasses me, but like, normally
don't want to unravel.
Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, I see that.
Normally, it's normally when you're at a place where someone sees you in what car you're in or something. Because that's often when I get asked, what do you do? Because people see that and they go, oh, what do you do?
Yeah.
And like, I'll be honest, mate, I talk about bodybuilding and life, like fitness and food and gym all day. And when random people ask me, I find it really awkward. I do find it really awkward to like explain it. So I just say, I just got a couple of like online businesses in the fitness industry. And they're like, oh, cool. And that just ends the convo. Because then you'll get, oh, well, how do I get in shape and all this sort of stuff? And I just feel like saying, bro, like, just, I know it sounds hard. Like, I'm not trying to be horrible. And like, I want to help everyone and stuff like that. But at the time, I'm normally just trying to pay for my fuel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to get out of there. Like, but again, that's my own fault for buying the things that I've got. But it does attract like questions. And I just try and like avoid it because I find it embarrassing sometimes for myself.
The thing is, like 9 times out of 10, when you have those sort of conversations with people, they're not ever actually going to really take on board what you say anyway. No. It's like, oh, cool. And then they're going to go and do whatever the fuck they were doing previously.
Yeah. Because I can't explain physique development in 5 minutes.
Literally. Oh my God, I was about to say that. Thank you. People love, like, when they're new to the gym, people really think it's as simple as like,
what should I eat, bro?
I look like this, I want to look like this, what do I do? And you're like, that is an entire, like, multiple subjects wrapped into one. I can't just like quickly reel that off for you. Like, there's a few kind of points I can touch on, but you know, that's quite an in-depth topic still. It's so awkward, especially when someone like who isn't really training is like, how do I get in shape? You're like, oh, that's really obtuse, that question.
Yeah.
Was it ever awkward bringing up or like creating content on like the PED side, and was there ever a shock to your parents and or like the people around you, or like even when you tell people what you do and like you may get to that further conversation, does it ever feel awkward bringing that up? Would you ever receive any judgment from it?
I think if you receive judgment from it, that's the person's problem, not yours, for a start. So I don't really worry about that. It's part of the sport, unfortunately. Well, I'm not even going to say unfortunately, it's part of the sport. It's also the part of every single elite sport, no matter what people say, it is a part of every sport. You know, so like if someone's got a problem with it, I'm more just like, okay.
Yeah.
But old, like younger me would be like getting rolled up about that. Or I used to have like quite a short fuse and a bit of a temper. And so if someone would question me on something like that, I'd end up in an argument. But now I'm just like, yeah, man, cool, bro. Like, sweet. Like, you do. Yeah. I haven't really, I'll be honest, I haven't got time for it. So I don't waste any energy with that. Because again, I've got little amount of energy because of the work that I do. I try and save the energy for things that actually matter instead of people that have got problems with what I do or something like that. Because like, mate, you can't please everyone. You know, like, but at the same time, I don't ask them things about their job to critique it. I ask them things about their job because I'm interested. I like to find out what people do for a living. Oh, cool. You know, and I'll ask good questions, not offensive ones.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know if that answered it at all, but
that's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. I got a question that sort of leads on to what you do and how you do it, I guess. From Niall, shout out Niall. He literally
we love Niall.
The episode of the podcast, legend. So 2 questions actually. How the fuck do you get natural clients to look how they do? Is the first one.
Look,
Best.
it's I get what he's saying 100%, but like I'm gonna guess he's probably referring to Luke and Joel that competed this weekend. Like, yeah, man, they were both skinned out their mind. But like, firstly, Luke has been very lean before, so quite easy to do that. It's just taking more fat off, essentially. I know that sounds like a dickhead answer. It's not. It's just taking more fat off.
Okay.
Joel is very genetically gifted and can get lean very quick, so that's quite easy. I have some natural clients. It doesn't matter how much I do to them or what I do to them, they cannot get peeled. Okay, but I could also say that about enhanced people.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't matter how many drugs you take. If your body does not want to get peeled, it won't get peeled. And I don't care what anyone says, like, you can get anyone peeled. Not like, no, you can't. Like, you can't. And what that is, look, I don't know. It could be a multitude of things. But how have I got most of my natural clients peeled is just doing more cardio, eating less food, doing more steps. Again, it sounds like a dickhead, but that is literally like,
yeah.
At the end of the day, pretty much every coach is going to take the same approach for someone on a prep. You're going to have to diet and you're going to have to move more potentially than you'd want. You're probably going to have to eat less than you potentially want and create a big deficit over time. Essentially, that's the answer. But not everyone is genetically gifted to get peeled. Simple.
Yeah,
that's a component of genetics that a lot of people forget about. Like, it's like, oh, how quickly do you grow? What's your likelihood of injury? But like, can you actually genetically get fucking peeled, and do you have the mindset to do it as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like when people say, oh, I'm not very vascular, or I'm really vascular. They could have the same amount of body fat. But if it's a black guy, they're probably not going to be that vascular, because black people aren't naturally that vascular. Whereas I'm vascular all year round, doesn't matter what body fat I'm carrying. My arms and my calves are always like, look lean. They're not. I'm just vascular. For some fucking God knows what reason. I don't know.
I'm like a little lab rat, like pale as hell. So I'm just drenched in veins all the time as well, which is kind of cool to be fair. But I also look very, very pale. I'm literally glowing.
You are pretty pale, to be fair, bro.
Yeah, bro.
On the melanotan.
Nah, terrified of it.
Oh, don't.
Yeah, I'm okay just being pale. Honestly, I'm fine. Enough risks being taken, you know. Jeez.
Is that a bad experience there, Christian?
Oh, I've got possibly the worst experience ever with melanotan. Yes.
Sure.
Clear. If you look at a vial of melanotan, it looks the same as any other peptide or whatever. And I had two vials next to each other, one being growth hormone, one being melanotan. And normally I would do 0.02 of melanotan, but instead I did 2 IU melanotan, thinking it was growth hormone, and it was possibly one of the worst nights of my life. I had the angriest boner known to man. Like, I thought, I'm going to have to get this chopped off. it was agonizing.
Oh.
Like, I had a wank to try and be like, right, like, that'll get rid of it. I finished and it was just still hard. I thought, I wish there was a bird around now, because I'd be like fucking God in the bedroom. This guy don't stop. I had the worst headache, the worst sickness feeling of my life, sweating, and I just didn't sleep all night, and I still had a hard on when I woke up.
Oh.
So, don't mix your growth with melanotan, guys.
Someone needs to buy you a label maker.
Or just don't take melanotan. That's the best thing. Or just take nasal spray melanotan, because that's easier.
Nasal spray melanotan.
Yeah, it's good.
I wanted to ask you a question that you always ask your guests on your podcast. I don't know what your answer is going to be. What has your success cost you?
A lot. My previous relationship, I was engaged to someone. Work was definitely not a contributing factor to it going well. Although that's like since kind of been like resolved and stuff like that, like after speaking numerous times. Like little to zero contact with like actually like important members of my life, like family, which was fucking stupid at the time. But I've definitely become a lot better at like realizing things like sooner. Like, and yes, work takes up a big part of my life, but I can also just shut it off sometimes now. I've just been like, right, that's not important right now, so I'm going to do this because it's more important. And if anyone's got a problem, again, they can fuck off. But at the time, like, I feel like this goes in waves. Like when I started, everything was about the business because it had to be. So I did sacrifice a lot on the first like 2.5 years, probably until the start of this year, where it's now I've realized, right, okay, I'm good at this. People are going to come regardless. So I can kind of not back off a little bit, but I don't have to be as like, bro, I'm going to fucking do your setup video at 1 a.m. in the morning. Like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm just going to do that tomorrow. But I thought that's what I had to do at the start. And at the end of the day, what I did at the start worked. So you know, if anyone's building a business or starting a business at the start, work all the time, because the more you work on it, like the probably better it's going to get. But also then over time, also know that you can then start to pull back once, like, I would definitely say that Coached by Christian, like as a brand, has like established itself now, that I can kind of be like, not relax, because I've seen when people do that, when they build a really good business, they relax and then they fucking lose it because the service goes to shit. I just mean a bit more like, you know, after this, I was probably going to do some work, but instead, Rick, who owns Strom Sports, has just bought a new house and he's asked me to go around tonight. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to not do work and I'm going to go around instead. Because that's actually what's more important tonight. Do you know what I mean?
100%, bro. 100%. I think it is hard to walk that balance when, like you said, with your phone, you literally carry a business around with you permanently. It's definitely something that I need to work on as well, like spending time with my girlfriend, and like I've got international clients messaging me late at night and I'm like, you know, they've just woken up or whatever, so I need to respond to this, otherwise they just won't hear from me for a day. And granted, it's not always important, but by the same token as well, like when you're trying to build a business, you do need to put in a lot of effort. I guess it's hard to know when you should pull back, if that makes sense. And I'm sure it's still hard now. Yeah,
it's still hard now, for sure. But like, I can also take time and look back at like, man, I was fucking. But at the same time, like, because me and Soph recently spoke about this together. Actually, she was like, "That's what you needed to do at the time."
Yeah.
So that's what you did. And I was like, "Well, fair play for understanding."
To be a like titan of the coaching industry, you need to work like it. You know, I don't know if you know how established your brand is. Like, it is very, very, very established. And I think it shows the amount of like the ludicrous amount of work that you've put into shows in the ludicrous amount of success that you've had. Like, for example, if you look at Cal and Pro Coach, Cal's a lunatic with his work ethic, and it shows because Pro Coach is just everywhere. And I think, you know, if you want to be one of those people at the top, like, I'd consider you on the same level as Pro Coach, mate. So, or potentially above, bro. Because I went with you.
Give me 6 months and it will be 100%.
Calm.
I'm very confident in that.
I rate that, man. But like, seriously, you know, if you want to be like one of those people at the top, I feel like, you know, like Soph said, your balance just has to be ridiculously unbalanced. Shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it was shit. But like, I've definitely got more balance now. But at the same time, like, I don't want complete balance because I love to work. And I like doing things that I like to do. I don't like doing things I don't want to do. Why would I want to do that? If I don't enjoy it and I have the option to not do it, I'm going to not do it. Simple. And that might sound selfish, but I'm selfish. And if you are a business owner and you want to be good at it, you've got to be selfish. And I'm okay with that.
Fair enough.
Whilst you say that, it's like you're selfish in that sense, but it's like when it comes to your clients, you're so selfless.
Yeah, I'll give you a really good example of that. Okay, I won't name names or anything like that, but recently, like, a client, he's in a relationship and they're both prep at the same time and all that sort of stuff, and they've just bought a house together, so that normally fucks finances, isn't it? And they wanted to get a stairmaster for their house because time is really tight. Then they've got to get to the gym. They've got to do the stairmaster in the morning, blah, blah, blah. And You can like finance stuff like that now, but if you've just bought a house, good luck getting finance on anything because it just fucks it. So I bought them a Stairmaster and they'll just pay me back over time.
Oh, mate. Okay, now.
But at the same time, like firstly, great because I've just saved a load of tax because I just bought it for the business. But at the same time, like that's a very selfless thing to do. And like I'm not bringing it up to say, oh, look at me, be really nice. But like my clients, like, at the end of the day, these people have been with me for a very long time and they've paid my wages for a very long time. And they've inadvertently bought me more wages because they've bought me more advertising. And I can then put it all on Instagram and show how well they've done. And that then brings more clients. They've paid for the Stairmaster themselves by paying me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
if they said, I can't pay you back, I go, well, whatever, it's fine. You know, I'll get the Stairmaster when you're done, pray. Yeah, whatever. But like, I am selfless with my clients 100% because they come first.
That reminds me of another question there. So we've mentioned Joel a couple of times already on the podcast, and somebody asked, was coaching him any different compared to your other clients because of his social media presence?
The only difference is every time he tagged me in something, I just got loads of 15-year-olds following me. But no, like, I tell you what, mate, like, I've coached a lot of TikTokers, influencers, Instagrammers, whatever you want, YouTubers, whatever you want to call them. And most are absolute dog shit. Okay. And they actually bring me nothing. They just bring me headache, to be honest, because they're shit. They don't understand what hard work is and stuff like that. And they don't follow through their actions because they've got to do a 15,000 calorie challenge for YouTube because I think that's what's going to blow the business up. All sorts of stuff, which I completely get. I do get it, but it also makes them a fucking nightmare to coach and brings me nothing. Joel has bought me a lot, and there's only one way he's done that. He followed the plan every single day, got absolutely peeled, and did really well. And I tell you what else he did, and this is off his own back because I never tell him, tag me in that, bro, mention me in that, bro, because I'll be honest, I don't want having more followers and stuff. It looks great. That's cool. Like, and it's brought a lot to the business because it looks better because there's more followers and stuff like that. Cool. That's great. But like, I never want that. Like, I'm never going to ask someone to do that because I don't think it's right. They'll post me if something's gone right. So I need to make sure I do my job right so that they talk about me. And fair play to him because a lot of, again, these Instagrammers, TikTokers, YouTubers, whatever, they don't ever mention like who's helping them normally. It's just like, yeah, I'm doing this. Yeah, I'm doing that. I'm doing this. Every YouTube video that Joel does, he will talk about me. And he'll bring up conversations on his phone. He'll play voice notes out where I'm taking the piss out of him or something, or telling him, don't eat that, you fat cunt, or whatever. And like, that's organic. And it's brought organic growth. And like, fair play to him because he doesn't need to mention me. You know what I mean? He pays his monthly fee. That's it. But he has inadvertently brought me a lot more business, 100%, because it's a lot of eyes on him. And that means there's then more eyes on me, and there's more eyes on what will be team coached by Christian, not just coached by Christian. And that's just good for the greater goal. And, you know, me and Joel have actually developed a really good relationship because, again, when I meet some of these people in person, I just think, fuck's sake, this guy's a dick. Okay. And Joel's a good kid. Like, I got a lot of time for him. And yeah, man, nothing, mate. There's no difference in coaching him from anyone else whatsoever. You just have to expect that people are going to come up to you at shows and say, hey, you're the one that coaches Joel, aren't you? I'm like, yeah, bro. I'm like, or I'll say, no, it's that guy over there, mate, and just walk off. But no real difference in coaching him, apart from it just if he posts you're going to get followers, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, like, I remember the last time I sort of actively looked at how many followers you were at, it was like 14,000, and you posted it up the other day and you're almost at 20. I'm like, when did that happen?
Yeah, to be honest, this last year, like, I find it quite difficult to get followers, to be fair. I think it's the hardest thing on Instagram at the moment is to get followers. And I also don't care how many followers I've got because I know that the followers that I do have are very invested in it. Because if I do something, a lot of people then do it. Or if I say something about something, or like Strom code is, that code gets more uses than anyone else's put together. Cookie dealer, it gets more uses than everyone else's put together. Build and bake, I don't think it gets that much, but I know it's at the top. Kyber was the most. So I know that if I talk about something, people are going to go and do it, which is pretty cool. Like, I love that. So it didn't really, like, you can have 1,000 followers, but if 100% of them do exactly what you say, you've fucking done really well there.
Yeah, it's not, you can't even coach 1,000 people in
No,
one go.
But if you made something that cost 100 quid and 1,000 people bought it, that's a lot of dough.
Yeah.
That's another car, mate.
Half a car.
Get it lined up, bro.
Well, you can maybe get a McLaren wheel for that.
Wheel.
Or somebody else's bumper.
Where do you, talking about Team CBC, kind of teasing that, where do you see yourself, and then where do you see the coaching industry as a whole within the next 10 years? Like, where do you think it's all going, this industry?
AI, bro. No.
Oh, God.
That's a joke. The day I worry about AI is the day that I don't have a hole in my arse, to be honest. I think it's absolutely ridiculous. People come to people for people's personality. AI doesn't have personality. But Coach, when's this podcast coming out?
It'll be Monday.
Monday.
Okay, I can't talk about it yet. But
all right, that's fine.
There's something like a big announcement. Like, everyone knows what's coming, in my opinion. They're not fucking stupid. In the next like 2 weeks, I'm doing all the filming for it this weekend. So that's exciting. And it's just building the brand a bit more outwards now instead of just me. Like, people, we might as well talk about it. It's not really a fucking big deal. It's going to be team coached by Christian. I'm going to have a couple of coaches on board, 2 at the start. I've got a 3rd one lined up for hopefully a couple of months' time. Just want to make sure this first bit goes well. Obviously, I'm not going to say who it is yet.
Yeah, me and Luke proudly accept, mate. Thank you for
the
offer.
Yeah, and then John comes on in 2 months' time as well. So
yeah, sweet.
I think Jack, we've got to shave our heads first, surely.
Like, people have been saying to me for 12 to 18 months, because I think probably now 24 months, I've consistently had over 100 clients a month for 2 years. And that's a lot. And like, I see coaches when they get 20 clients, get another coach. And I think you are literally retarded.
Yeah, that's
it is stupid. But people have been saying to me for 12 to 18 months, bro, you need to get a coach. And I'm very much one of those, bro. It's like, sometimes I've got to sit on it for a year, because this is mine. And I swear, if anyone comes in and fucks it up, I will lose my shit. So first, I have to have people that I can trust, which I don't trust people at all, because I've been burnt in the past. And it's got to be the right time. And at the moment, and this is, I think, John, I don't know too much about you, but I know Jack and Luke will know that, like, I don't blow smoke at my own arse, like, at all. Like, I'm just not like that. Yeah. So for me to say this next thing is quite a big deal. I feel like everything that I'm doing or touching at the moment is going really well.
100%, man.
So I know that this is the 100% the right time, because I know that as I launch this, it's going to go well. When I left Physique Collective, business blew up. So that was a new thing. Okay. I started doing CoachCast. That blew up. I started doing more YouTube. That's blown up. A lot more people on stage. That's blown up. Bringing coaches on, I know is going to be another, like, boom. And I also desperately need help. Like, and I've realized that now. It's like, oh my God, like, the inquiries this week has just been like, and instead of me taking on 10 out of these 44, I could have took on 44 if I had a team.
Yeah.
But I haven't at the moment, so they need to fucking wait. But it's like, I just want to have something that appeals to absolutely every single person possible, every single price point, every single goal, every single age. Like, man, I coach people in their fucking 60s, their 50s. Okay. But one of the coaches that's coming on, predominantly coaches young people. And unfortunately, and this is not me being a dick, a lot of young people, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, can't afford 300 and whatever quid a month.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can't afford that, but you can afford this guy, and you're still going to have access to me, because this is a team. It's not you go to this guy and you never speak to me. No, all of the inquiries, no matter who you inquire with, comes to me, because I want to talk to you first. And at the end of the day, I have to accept that people want to talk to me, but I also have the confidence and belief in these guys that I've got, that they're going to do just as good a job as me. And if they can't, they've also got me. to be like, bro, I've got this situation. Cool, this is what we do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God, feels good to talk about that.
And
Finally.
there we have it, exclusive.
Where do you like? I don't know if you answered this, but where do you like see the whole industry, like, genuinely? Because right now it feels like, obviously you've got a lot of plans for yourself and you're kind of, at the top, but right now it feels like there's a massive amount of supply. Is there the demand for it? It feels very, very competitive now, up and coming as a coach. So where do you see the industry in 10 years? Do you think it's going to reach a breaking point, or it's just going to be more and more and more people?
I'm gonna give a shit answer to start.
You don't know.
No. Well, technically, yeah. I'll be honest, mate. I could not give a shit what anyone else is doing. I don't care. I will inadvertently find out anyway, because the ones that I do care about, Cal, Tom, Joe, Matt, I talk to them every day anyway, because we've got the Bloke God group chat that's been going for 6 years and it's never failed to bring laughter every day. I don't care what anyone else is doing. I couldn't give a shit. I am literally focusing on me, and wherever it takes me, and wherever the industry goes is where it goes, but I'll probably just follow. But in terms of where it's going to, like, the supply and demand thing, bro, I'm going to Google this. Hang on 2 seconds.
It's like 8 billion people. Is that what you're going to Google?
How many?
Like 8 billion.
There's 8 billion people in the world, bro. I don't think there's going to be 8 billion coaches, so everyone can only have one client. Yes, the industry is saturated. I think it's a fucking good thing. You know why? Because most of these people are shit and they make me look really good. Don't really care.
Huh.
And like, at the moment, well, I mean, you're a coach, Jack.
Yes, sir.
Luke, you're a coach. You're both about, well, Jack already works with me, exclusive Luke.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Luke from Monday works with me as well. I'd say 60-70% of my clients are coaches themselves, and I want all of them to do really fucking well, because there's loads of people in this industry that I don't appeal to. So, right, there's going to be people that appeal to Luke. He's had however many signups this week. Man's absolutely killing it. I've just increased his pricing, his pricing for coaching. Now he's a baller. But shit rolls downhill in this industry. So if you're coached by someone shit, you're going to be a shit coach, most likely. Okay. And I know that I've got a responsibility, that I've got a lot of coaches that work with me, and I want them to be good and shit hot at what they do. And the amount of times I have a coach message me who is a client and says, bro, my business has got so much better since working with you. I'm like, okay, that's a good thing, because at the end of the day, everyone knows who's coached by who. So let's say, Jack, people know that you are coached by me.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you give a shit service, I also look shit.
Yeah, I do it on purpose.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
But
I also know that if you give a great service, they're going to go, fucking hell, like, I wonder what Christian's like. And then they're going to message me and say, bro, I want to work with you. But it just goes round and round and round.
Yeah, you're not wrong, to be fair. You're not wrong. I mean, there's probably I know that I found out about how good you were as a coach through Tom Taylor.
Yeah.
So yeah, Tom's you've got Tom to thank for me bothering you now when I know those messages I sent after your work hours as well, accidentally.
Yeah, and funny enough, Tom is now a very good coach.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's nice that there's like some positivity in the industry, and it's not all like backstabby sort of shit. Like, I was actually saying this to Jack today. Like, I'll get ideas from him, he'll get ideas from me, and funnily enough, we both get better. Like, we did the exercise library together because we thought it would be a cool thing to do. And yeah, it's just really, really nice to have sort of the positivity and that sort of thing.
So I genuinely think there's way more positivity than there is negative in this industry. 100%. Like, I was at a show on the weekend on the Saturday, and the amount of hugs I had, the amount of great conversations I had, like, such a positive energy today. And one person was negative the whole day. And it's because they're always negative. And you know what? No one ever says a good thing about them. So fuck them. Do you know what I mean? They will sink, because they are sinking. I'll tell you about it after. But like, it's just, unfortunately, it's just, there's bad eggs in every single industry. That's what people seem to forget. Like shit and gossip and all this bollocks goes on in every single industry in the world because the world gossips. And the world is sometimes negative. But yeah, it's what you make it. I don't surround myself with negative people. I surround myself with positivity.
Yeah, that's not what you want for sure. So we've got a couple of quick fire questions, and then we'll let you go because you are a busy man and you want to go and enjoy your evening. So
I've got a consult first, but yeah, that's fine.
Of course you do.
So I was well aware that you don't like oats, but Jack has also informed me that you don't like beef mince. So how much would someone have to pay you to eat oats and beef mince like together?
Bro, without sounding like a dick, I don't need any money, man. So like, just leave it. 10 mil. I don't mind beef mince. I wouldn't choose it. It gives me a bit of the gip. You know what I mean?
Oh, right. Okay.
So weird.
And then oats, mate, like I'm just gonna sit on the toilet.
Poo pants.
Like, yeah, poo the plant.
I wanted to ask this, and I'm not sure if Luke was going to ask because I suggested this question. What is your nightmare meal plan? Like, if someone wrote the worst meal plan possible for you, what would that look like? It doesn't have to be long at all.
Okay. So meal one,
yeah,
oats and a protein shake on the side. Like
on the side. Oh.
I hate drinking protein. It's vile.
Okay. Do you have powder? Do you have like the sludge and like eat whey, or do you just not?
No, because I'm not 12 years old. Honestly, I hate the sludge thing. I just think, mate, eat like a fucking human. Like I used to be like incredibly food focused. Now, mate, I just don't. Just give me the food and I'll eat it, whatever. Meal two, sludge.
Wait.
Yeah, it's vile. Like, I'm sorry, whey protein as a sludge is not enjoyable.
Put veg in it as well. That's worse.
Yeah, greens powder on the side.
Oh,
without any water.
Meal free. What's another bodybuilder?
Dry scoop your greens.
I don't know. To be fair, I do like most food. I just stick to the same every day because it's just convenient.
Beef mince and Coke blended, as in Coca-Cola. You said you said fuck soft drinks to me. So what's your option on soft drinks? To be fair?
No, I don't think. No, I don't. Did I say fuck soft drink? No.
Yeah, you did. I said they gave me digestive issues, and you just said
you're having about 9 a day, mate. That's why. No, I'm team full sugar. I'm team full sugar. Like normalized full sugar drinks, man. It pisses me off. Right, like when like people grab a water, it's the Volvic touch of fruit.
Yeah.
One that's full sugar tastes so much better, so I'm just gonna have that one.
Yeah.
Oh no, 100 calories. Oh, all the place. Fuck off.
That's solid. Would you rather never coach again or never drive again?
Oh fuck, wankers! Who said that?
I can't remember who came up.
That was one of us, me or Luke. I forget.
Never drive again, but I'm gonna have to get a driver, and I can pick the car.
But you're not driving it. Why does it matter?
Because, bro, if you get drove around in a Rolls Royce, mate, you live in it.
All right.
Yeah. Then everyone will ask what you do.
Yeah, I know, and I'll say, driver, put the window up. Get this pauper away. There's a reason why I haven't got a Rolls Royce because I can't afford one. So
one day.
I find that so hard to believe, mate. I'm not going to lie.
Maybe so, but whatever.
If you were a woman, what category would you compete in?
Figure.
Jack, I told you.
Yeah.
Said he's going to say figure.
You called it.
It's the best shape that I like, and it's still feminine within some degree.
Would you rather only coach athletes in prep or when they're in off season? So like you can do a full off season with someone, but then you can't coach them for prep. They have to go to someone else. Or they could coach themselves.
I've got a great spin on that question.
Fuck it, prep. Brings more attention, doesn't it? Yeah. What
if you were forced to continue competing, but
myself, yeah.
Yeah. You're competing in off season. In off season, you're not allowed to coach. You're only allowed to coach in prep. Would you still coach?
Yeah, man.
Okay,
I'm way more productive on prep anyway.
Oh, fair.
But I just keep self-sabotaging the prep.
Keep it. Yeah.
There's another 5, guys.
It just
52 weeks out.
It just appeared.
Yeah.
That's
Accidental
brilliant.
refeed.
Well, thank you very much for your time, mate. Sick podcast. Where can people find you and everything that you're doing?
Oh God, don't. No, coached by Christian on Instagram. No underscores, no numbers, because I am the original OG. And soon team __ CBC, because that's the only name I could get, unfortunately.
You don't contact Instagram about is one like officially taken, or has it been like, is it unused? Do you know?
I'm not that sad.
Okay, fair.
I'm sure people will still find it. Well,
Great.
yeah. Thank you very much for coming on, mate. Pleasure to speak to you. I'm going to end the recording now. See you all later. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Take a screenshot, share it on your story, all of that good stuff.